I had a little blonde moment. I didn't turn the microphone on. Sorry, everybody. Right, everybody, today's our NAIDOC Assembly. It is really one of the highlights of our calendar. I remember vividly the assembly last year, and we had the pictures of, actually the film of Bacho and his dad up on country, sharing their experiences with us. And I'm really looking forward to today's assembly. Our MCs are Sam and Jess, and I would be grateful if you would welcome them to the microphone for today's assembly.
This year's theme is a simple one. It's really a call for us to protect country, so it's Heal Country. The committee really feels that it's a call for all of us to work towards greater protections of our land, our water, our sacred sites, and our culture and heritage. It's about healing country. It's about healing us as a peoples. And when we talk of country, we don't talk of land. We actually talk about country as a person. Country sustains who we are. We sing about country. We celebrate country. We dance about country. So it's really saying heal country, and we heal us as a people.
As well as parents, caregivers and the community via live stream. And welcome to our NAIDOC Week Assembly for 2021. I'm Jess and this is Sam, and we will be your host for today's assembly.
This year's theme is Heal Country. It speaks about the land meaning more than a place and is inherent to our identity. NAIDOC 2021 invites us all to embrace the First Nations cultural knowledge and understanding of country. As a part of Australians' heritage, and equally respect the culture and values of Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islanders, as they do the cultures and values of all Australians.
For Indigenous Australians, the land meant and still means so much more than the soil we stand on or the berries we eat from the bush. Giving back to the land allows us all to grow despite previous destruction, desecration and exploitation that occurred to our land for the last 2 centuries. The respect between land and people means we look after our home and our home looks after us. When our land is disrespected, damaged or destroyed, the close connection leaves us with feelings of loss and remorse, often having a significant impact on the well-being which is felt throughout the Indigenous community. This is the process of Heal Country.
Land or country is more than a place. For many Indigenous people, land relates to all aspects of existence: cultural, spirituality, language, law, family or identity. The land sustains and provides for the people, and the people sustain and manage the land through culture, traditions and ceremony. A welcome to country is one of our core ceremonies. Only a traditional owner can honour us by welcoming to his or her country. We are very privileged to open today's assembly with a welcome to country from our traditional owner, Athley Saltner. Please welcome him to stage.
Aga nabul nabul, Wogarukuba Gurum Bubra Yamanan, Ninabul Dungri, Naya 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 Banaya. Hello and good morning everyone. Just on behalf of my Wogarukuba people, traditional custodians of Gurum Bubra, Townsville and Yamanan, Manalik Island. It's my pleasure to be back here at the school to welcome you all here this morning for your NAIDOC celebration. And it's great to be back here and to be able to come here and perform for you today. So yeah, just once again, Nabul, welcome and happy NAIDOC. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. We are honoured and blessed to have you with us today.
We will now have our prayer. We welcome Father Clement and to bless Brianna and Eli, who will lead us in prayer.
reading from Holy Gospel according to Matthew, verse 13, 31 to 35. Glory to you, O Lord. Jesus proposed a parable to the crowds. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that a person took and sowed in a field. It is the smallest of all the seeds, yet when full grown it is the largest of plants. It becomes a large bush, and the birds of the sky come and dwell in its branches. He spoke to them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed with 3 measures of wheat flour until the whole batch was leavened. All these things Jesus spoke to the crowds in parables. He spoke to them only in parables, to fulfill what had been said through the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will announce what has lain hidden from the foundation of the world. This is the gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
We will now have prayers of the faithful from the Prayer for the Healing Journey by the National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Ecumenical Commission 2002. Your response will be, Lord, hear our prayer. Lord, hear our prayer. Almighty and loving God, you who created all people in your image, lead us to seek your compassion as we listen to the stories of our past. Lord, hear our prayer. You gave your only Son, Jesus, who died and rose again so that sins will be forgiven. We place before you the pain and anguish of dispossession of land, language, law, culture, and faith, that all people will rise from the depths of despair and hopelessness. Lord, hear our prayer. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families have endured the pain and loss of loved ones through the separation of children from their families. We are sorry and ask God's forgiveness. Touch the hearts of the broken, homeless, and afflicted, and heal their spirits. In your mercy and compassion, walk with us as we continue our journey of healing to create a future that is just and equitable. Lord, you are our hope. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Clement, Brianna, and Eli. For our national anthem, we will be listening to the Dharawal and English version. Please stand respectfully.
Advance Australia
seated. As you all know, we have a new principal who started last week. As this will be her first opportunity to address this campus, we invite Candy up to the stage to share her thoughts.
Good morning, everyone, family and friends. You can say good morning to me. Very good. It is my great pleasure to be here today, this tremendous celebration of our culture, our nation and our connection. As we've just heard that our 2021 NAIDOC week theme is Heal Country, and it calls for us to continue to seek greater protections of our lands, our waters, our sacred sites and our cultural heritage. And for us personally, it means something else. It actually means our connection to each other, to our Indigenous brothers and sisters, and to the country that is their person, their place from which they understand themselves. This word healing is really important to us as Catholic Christians, because healing was central to the ministry of Jesus. He was a teacher and he was a healer. And it's very important to realise that Christian type of healing goes far beyond a physical cure. It challenges us to set out an adventure of what we know as reconciliation. Because to heal, you need to know that something needs some sort of care and some sort of healing to bring it back together again. So we heal ourselves, and we will be able to heal our country and our connection with each other when we show in practical ways some of our values from Jesus: mercy, forgiveness and acceptance. What we then do in response to these actions of mercy, forgiveness and acceptance is called ministry in its purest sense. To be able to minister to someone is to know where they're coming from and know how you can help. It's spontaneous. It's free of coercion and free of exploitation. And it's not promoted by any political motivations. NAIDOC Week and Heal Country is about continuing our education to actually realise and understand what healing means so that we can freely show it. Jesus healed people, the blind, the lame, the sick, the downtrodden. And he felt people's need to be healed. And so to heal is to show empathy through deep listening. And it's no fluke that the word listen has the same letters as the word silent. They are the same letters, just configured differently. So for us to know exactly how it is that we need to heal one another, heal our connection, heal our country, we need to be silent. We need to actually be with other people in a state of silence. And you only know that people are really listening to you as you are doing to me right now. You listen with your eyes as well as your ears. And once you're doing that, your heart opens up to understand what the other person is going through. So listen, our Ryan values of journey, community and service are really lived out through this understanding of listening and understanding healing. We are born to feel emotion. That's why we are here. We are born to be people together. We can't be a true person if we don't have others with us. And in the spirit of today, healing country, country is our spirit. Country is where we find connection. Country is how we begin to heal. So as your principal, I'm delighted to be here. This is my 8th day in this wonderful college, and already I've understood that you actually do understand what connection means. For such a big college, the way that you relate to each other personally and individually is outstanding. It's a real testament to what this college is built on. So I'm proud to address you this morning, and I look forward to the rest of the assembly. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Candy. Before you go, we would like to present you with our College Indigenous t-shirt. We hope to see you wearing it on the days of significance. Thank you.
Dancing forms an integral part of Aboriginal connection to their culture. It has taken us a lot of years to create a dance group made up of our very own students. This year, with the initiative of Batcho, our Indigenous teacher aide, we are very excited to introduce to you our very own deadly dancers to perform for the first time. We call on Les Tanner to introduce the group.
Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Can't hear me? Can you hear me now? All good? Can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Nah? There we go. Good morning, everybody. My name is Les Tanner. I'm a representative of the Walgarugaba Walkabout Dancers. And I have been working with these boys for about 6 to 8 weeks to be able to present you with a gift today for NAIDOC Week. These boys have been working very hard to get to the standard where we wanted to be today, and I'm very proud of them. They've come a long way, considering that they didn't even know how to do dance or Aboriginal dancing when we first started. So we're very excited to present this to you guys today, and we hope you enjoy it. So the first dance we did for you guys is a Walgarugaba creation story about Gubblum, the great carpet snake who travelled down from the north and made his way out to sea and created the Palm Island groups that you have there today. And this just depicts the story that of what he created along the way. In Walgarugaba language they say Gubble. And the next dance we're going to do for you now is of the kangaroo. Now the kangaroo is a very significant animal to our people. It's a symbolization of law, but it's also a teacher as well. It teaches us this dance that we know what to look for because of the movements that the kangaroos do. We know what to look for when we're hunting. In the Walgarugaba language, we say baragan. Okay, now that you have seen a bit of how we dance, I'd like to send our boys out there to pick one teacher each to get up on stage and dance with us as well. Don't be shy, teachers. This is your chance to shine. Give a round of applause for the teachers that have come up. One more. Yeah, they look excited. What do you reckon? Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to teach these guys 3 steps on showing them how to do shake a leg, okay? Dance like us. And we're going to get Bacho to come out the front here, and we're going to get him to demonstrate along the way, okay, to show these guys how to do it. Now, the first step to how we do maragan, how we do shake a leg, we have to clap our hands and stomp our feet. What do you reckon? They're pretty good with that, eh? Yeah. Okay, now the next part is the shaking of the legs. And what we do here, we bring our legs in and out, and we put our hands out wide like so, just like Bacho. Now, the most important part to this dance is our pose. The pose has to be strong, and it has to look deadly, just like so. Go, woo, go, one that I have, that's another kind one. So, once we put all 3 steps together, this is what it's going to look like. Teachers, you want Bacho to demonstrate first? Yeah, okay. Bacho, come back out here. They fright these fellas, okay. Okay, you ready? I want everyone clapping your hands as well. Let's go. Pretty simple. You think you're ready, teachers? Okay, we'll get the teachers to step forward. Okay. Now we need you guys to help. Make sure you're clapping your hands again. Clapping, stomping your feet, like so. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, and shake. Woo! Well, I reckon they did pretty good. But let's see if they're really deadly, and we're going to speed it up a bit now. Let's see how good they really are. Okay. You ready? 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, and woo! And again. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, and woo! Hey! Pretty good. I think they're pretty deadly. One more round of applause for these guys. We'll get our deadly dancers to walk them off stage. Thank you. Thank you, teachers. Okay. Now that we've seen the teacher's pretty deadly style, we're going to have a closer look at each individual style and how they do shake a leg. Okay? Walgarugaba language we say Maragan. Now, we'll start off. We're going to start in the middle anyway. We'll get these boys to really show off their styles and show the strength of their style as well, and give you a bit of an insight on how much they've learnt. So, Maragan.
Thank you for that. We are thrilled to have with us this morning Jim Gaston, a Gujarat Ranger based in Home Hill, whose work includes turtle tagging and environmental education for the region. He is a grandfather to Pop and grandfather or Pop to Isabella and Kyla Gaston. Let's welcome him to the stage to share his insights on the NAIDOC theme Hill Country, remembering that country includes land and sea.
Good morning, Ryan Catholic College. My name's Jim Gaston. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the Wakarukaba people on whose country I stand today. I'm Birragubba. My connection to Birragubba is through the Juru, the Bowen and Burdigan area, the Birri, the Collinsville area, and Janga, the Ballyanda area. And I'm a Gujarat Ranger. So today, what I'll talk about is what Hill Country means to me and our Rangers. I've got 6 minutes, I think. So we got, our base is in Home Hill. We have 5 Rangers. We have coordinator, senior ranger, which is myself, 2 women rangers, and Ben, the other ranger. And we're all based in Home Hill. Hill Country to me means forming partnerships. And we have partnerships with the Gujarat Rangers, with NQ Dry Tropics, Biodiversity, which is Greening Australia and them, Greening Australia, James Cook Uni, WWF, Tunga Roa Blue, and evolution mining, plus the Whitsunday councils and the Burdekin Shire councils. Healing, or heal country, is where it's a whole box and dice. It's not just people, it's everything. It's animals, the rivers, the land, the sea, fresh water and salt water. So it's all there. What we do is we interact with young people with Tangaloa Blue, and we pick up rubbish from the beach. So that's part of healing country. We picked up some rubbish down there at Alva Beach. There's about 80 kilos, just in about a kilometre. So when you go to the beach, you make sure you take your rubbish home. We also have an NRM team made up of 4 people, and the young people, and we train them to go out and get rid of the weeds by spraying them, and make sure that they wear the proper PPE so that they're safe. And that's healing country too. They also have a mapping process when we go out and do weeds, and they put that on their mobile phone. It's an app. See, that's that deadly word, app. Us elders, you know, we're safe from the net. So we put our app on our phones, and you got a map, and each person can press it and they can follow where they've been through the bush. Then we come back and we put it on a map. Plus we carry the spray tanks around with us. They get heavy sometimes. And the PPE, got to make sure PPE, the proper PPE. Other thing about healing country, we use fire, which is used to clear the bush, weeds, but you got to do it culturally at the right time. Otherwise, there's other animals that live on the grass. Birds eat the seeds. So you got to make sure you burn the right time of the year for different grasses. So that's another healing country. And you make sure you put the signs up too, because if you go out there, you don't want to see people in cars running off the road because of the smoke. And we make sure that the weather's the right weather. You got relative humidity. If it's too high, the grass won't burn, which sometimes it's good. You just need a little trickle to go through. Doesn't burn everything. One of my main things I love doing is the turtles. Either watching them come up on the beach and nest, or out there jumping on them, which we call turtle rodeo. I'm 68-year-old and I'm still doing it. You don't need a six-pack, you only need a one ab. We also do clean-ups along the 9 boat ramps in the Burdekin area. We also check on the signage from the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park to make sure everybody understands the zoning system. Well, there's a good picture of me. Side on. We also do bird watching. The seabirds and shorebirds. And we put that on a database too, bird data. So we know what types of birds are out there, the seabirds, when they migrate, what time of the year. So that's heel country too. Then we also take celebrities out tagging turtles. Mr. Ernie Dingo, a long-time friend of mine, took him out. But he comes from the dusty area. He doesn't come from the sea country. And for him, jumping on turtles was a new thing. When we do catch the turtles, we take them ashore and we do all the data. We measure them, put a tag on them, whether they're male or female. Then James Cook Uni, they do all the blood testing to see the DNA and where they come from. So it's a big operation. We usually have about 60 or 70 people out there helping us sometimes. That was in the early days. But now we've got a barge that we take out and we use that as the platform, because them turtles are 60 centimetre and they're pretty heavy, and to carry them a long way up to the beach. So we thought we'd get a boat, put them on the boat, and we do all the testing on the boat. Yeah. Huh? Oh, they're telling me to wrap up. So you're trying to put 68 years into 5 minutes. And, okay, we also take out important people, and we do smoking ceremony, and that's a cleansing thing too. So thank you for that. And I'd just like to say one more thing. To those seniors that finish this year, I salute you. And next year, welcome to my world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gaston, for your insights and those fascinating pictures. Here is a small token of our appreciation presented by Kyla. Torres Strait Islanders form a vital part of Indigenous Australia. They are very connected to sea country, and here today to share her thoughts of the theme is Year 12 student Tara Arndt.
Before I share with you today, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, the Walgarookaba Nation, elders and leaders, past, present and emerging. And I extend my respect to any other Indigenous people present here today. Kapamigi Batainga, Debidim. Good morning. My name is Tara Arndt. I'm a young, proud Torres Strait Islander. I descend from Panay, Mabiok Island. My totem is Dangal, the dugong, and Kadal, the crocodile. I was given the opportunity to talk about my perspective on the 2021 NAIDOC theme, Heal Country. In other words, it also means care for country. This country has been cared for and healed by its First Nations people physically, culturally, spiritually, emotionally, and socially for centuries. This year's theme holds a special place in who I am and helps me to recognize the vitality of connection to land and sea, furthermore strengthening my identity and connection to my culture. Torres Strait Islander peoples are seagoing people who are tremendously moved by their rich connection to sea and land. In consideration of this, I have chosen to talk about the significance of a dinghy. Furthermore, share one of my personal experiences out on the boat. In the Torres Strait, the people use the dinghy as an essential part of providing transport from one island to another, gathering food for our families, our cultural celebrations, as well as sorry business and so on. In simple terms, a dinghy is a type of boat that has been used by Torres Strait Islanders for countless years. The dinghy works as a resource for my people, which brought great prospects agriculturally to provide us with delicious seafood like dugong, turtle, fish, crayfish, and more. Let me tell you about this one time when Dad and I went out in the boat. We went to a reef close by and caught an esky full of fish and crayfish. Once we got back home, we made sure we divided and shared our catch with the rest of the family. This memory is really about hill country because it also means caring for our people who had cared for the waters for thousands of years. We value family sharing, and communication as it is vital in the healing process. Kai mea so au. Thank you for listening. I would now like to invite the Straight Savage Dance Company, who will perform the cultural dances from Moa Island. Please welcome Scotty Savage, who will tell us about the diary or the headgear and introduce the group.
My name is Scotty Savage. I'm a proud Torres Strait Islander, representing my people, my grandmother's home country, St. Paul's Mission, Moa Island. As you can see, we're wearing red and white. Depicts the LMS London missionaries on St. Paul's when they landed on St. Paul's back in 1871. So today we'll be performing a few dances. Our first dance is the pull-up dance. It's called Taruyagare. It means blowing the wind from the north, top western, from Buigal down past to my grandmother's home country, St. Paul's, Moa Island. Our second dance will be the Morup dance. This one depicts the cracking of the thunder that thunders across the western hemisphere of Torres Straits. Our last performance will be the star dance. And the stars represent Titui, we call it in our language, star. The Tagai constellation that our forefathers used to compass, as a compass to travel around the Torres Straits. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy. this dance, I just want to talk about the headdress and the dari. So the dari, there's a meaning towards it. On the flag, it means, it identifies us, who we are as Torres Strait Islanders. There's all types of daris. I'm sorry I couldn't bring one, but on the eastern side, they've got a specific dari with feathers on it. And it's depicting the sardines along the side of the arch. And in between the arch, you'll see like a glaze of barriers around there. That depicts the barriers around the eastern islands. We call it fish traps. So there's a lot of meaning towards specific daris. There's all types of daris. So yeah, that was a bit of a little lecture there about the daris. So this how we'll do the star dance, and that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. That's all. Hallelujah!
Bye.
for watching, guys. Have me a soul whistle. Woo!
Thanks Tara and the amazing dance group. Certainly got me pumping. Every year we put together some activities in homeroom so that every student has the opportunity to celebrate NAIDOC. We hope you have collected a native pot plant for your homeroom. Our sense behind this was for you to contribute to looking after what will become a part of our environment, as we will be planting them in our yarning and garden spaces.
Another activity is a Kahoot quiz. Your homeroom teacher would have shared a link with you to participate in this during homeroom. One prize will be awarded per homeroom.
To provide us with some final thoughts, here is our community captain, Tennyson Stark.
As we come to the end of our assembly, let us reflect and respond on the theme, Heal Country. What does it mean and why does it matter? I think the theme can be best understood using an analogy. Let me share. Australia as a nation claims to be built on fundamental principles of diversity, respect, and multiculturalism. But in regards to our First Nations people, that has not been a reality. As a society, we have scrapes, we have cuts, we have gashes. Our country has been split by previous governments, people, and policies, which have caused a giant cut through our nation, leaving Indigenous Australians stranded and cut away. We have inherited these injuries from previous generations, but we cannot be a band-aid which hides and masks history with ignorance. For we are the stitches, the fabric for the solution. We have the ability to be the mechanism that drives a change in culture and perception. We are the future leaders, so let's lead. A country which we lead is a country which we heal. The theme encourages us to be a leader, calls for love, unity, respect, and most importantly, healing. This NAIDOC week, I encourage everyone to jump in and learn something new. Thank you.
As we finish the assembly on a positive note, I'd like to thank everyone for participating in our NAIDOC Week Assembly 2021.
Don't forget, if you haven't had the chance to take part in our Kahoot, you have till Friday. There are prizes to be won, so make sure you have a go. Let's all make sure we are nurturing our native plants as they will represent you when they go into our gardens. I will now hand over to Priya for some final messages.
Thank you, and let's keep that applause going for that fabulous host, Jessica and Sam. Well done. Thank you for volunteering. My role is to thank our honored guests, traditional owner Ashley Saltner, our priests, Father Joseph and Father Clement, Krista from the Indigenous team, our Aboriginal dance leader, Les Tanner, our guest speaker, Jim Gaston. And don't forget all those students who are up here this morning, a lot of courage to be on stage. A big thank you to our tech team, especially to Malcolm, who's constantly innovating our screens. I hope you noticed that. Now, it has been one of my dreams to have our very own dance group, and today that happened on this stage. It makes me really proud to see these deadly dancers doing such a great job. By the way, their second gig is this afternoon at Junior Assembly. The Assembly is the biggest event in our Indigenous education calendar, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes. We work as a team, which is growing. Did you notice we have a new member in Brenton? His first role was to be on stage dancing today. Give him a big hand. Thank you to each of our team members who have created and executed some great ideas and activities for NAIDOC. Thank you for all your hard work behind the scenes. Now, whilst we were planning, Year 10 and 11 students competed at the NQ Constitutional Convention last week, and they placed in the top 3. Our speaker, Lexi Laidlow, is going to Canberra in March next year. We are also preparing to the ATSIAP Challenge, which they will go to compete in tomorrow at JCU. We wish them all the very best. We also have some staff wellness this week, which Tracy has sent out some emails to encourage you to do some self-paced meditation or dadiri. I was very fortunate to attend to some professional development along with Carmen with Dr. Miriam Rose. So please let me know if I can help with any of these queries. Heal Country is certainly a theme and has resonated with us all. With the creation of the Bambarama Garden earlier this year, I am confident that Ryan Catholic College has started the process of truth-telling, which leads to healing for our First Nations people. I have one more task. I know we're running a little bit over. This is a special presentation to one of our students who has not been recognized at the college for her amazing creativity at the last Indigenous Education Conference. I call on Krista to come up and make this special presentation.
Thank you, Priya, and I promise I'll be really quick. In 2019, Townsville Catholic Education hosted the State Conference for Indigenous Education, which was a long time in the making, and it saw hundreds of delegates from all over the state gather to learn and hear about what we're doing in Indigenous education, but what we're all doing as well. To that end, we had lots of different things, but one of the main initiatives was to hold a competition for the design of the shirts. So it's my very great pleasure to present Brianna Cassidy with some of the tokens from that conference. She was the artist behind all of our branding, so our shirts, our bags, our everything, featured her beautiful design of the two trees, and it spoke to wisdom and courage. So I would like to congratulate Brianna. I know it was 2 years in the making, but thank you very much.
Brianna's a bit surprised. That comes to the end of our NAIDOC assembly. Thank you for being a great audience. Over to you, Shane.